What is going on, world? It's your boy J-Writes. Tell them who you are, baby girl.
It is your girl, NubianBadd Goddess. What's up, guys?
And this is BlackVomit, baby. Yes. This is the one and only podcast that brings all of our perspective from an Afrocentric perspective that
regurgitates the black community's experience in media, literature, trending topics, and we just, blah it back to you.
There it is. It sounds kind of deep, don't it? Kind of sexy a little bit too, but I ain't gonna lie.
If you're into that.
If you're into that. But we making history right now. We're making history. This is the very first episode of BlackVomit. I can't wait to celebrate this 1 year anniversary. So we gotta remember the date, even though all the days we running into each other.
I'm not gonna remember.
But yeah, man, we just gonna bring this new podcast, this new thought process, just making sure that everybody understands like how to present things in our type of way, and we just really appreciate y'all joining us on this journey, man. And you'll be able to hear our podcast on all the streaming services. We talking, well, I don't know if we need to name them right now because I ain't trying to pay nobody, but when they up there, you'll definitely be the first to find out, trust me. So with that being said,
we should start off our first episode with our topic, which I think what more appropriate topic to start with than porn. Very relevant.
Yes, I think more than a little bit of people know about this particular artistry, as I like to refer to it.
It is art. I feel like it's art.
But before we dabble into that particular thing, so y'all hold that just a little bit. We're going to talk about a little bit what's going on in the world. So, what's been some of the things that we would say has kind of been trending more recently than that?
Well, I can say I've been all up on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, as I'm sure many of us have. It's been both hilarious.
They should probably watch a little bit more porn themselves. But anyway.
Maybe if they did, things wouldn't have ended up so
might have been
sullied.
a little better.
But yeah, that's really been on my mind lately. A lot of my friends and coworkers, we've been talking about this topic, giving our opinions as such. I remember in the very beginning, when I revealed this situation to my sister, she was like totally on Amber Heard's side. She was like, something must be wrong with Johnny Depp. And of course, from the beginning, I was on Johnny Depp's side. I was just like, I don't even know what's happening, but I'm a stand, and even though it's wrong.
Well, that's what society was trying to make you think, and they was trying to railroad my boy. Like he was like really hot at the time too. He had that Fantastic Beasts going on, and then at the end of the day, it's Johnny Depp. Edward Scissorhands. Like come on, like Jack Sparrow. You know what I'm saying? So to hear him being put in that type of what's the word, like
light.
Yeah, that type of light, or like to be put in that type of that person or whatever, like it was just like not Johnny. But everybody, as they do, they jumped on the bandwagon. They was releasing him from this, taking money out his pocket from that. All dude wanted to do was just play his guitar. Yeah. That's all he wanted to do.
Did you see the commercial with him for that perfume, the Sauvage new line?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Is this recent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so he getting his money back.
I mean, some people are still obviously hiring him, especially now with the decision that's been made and stuff like that. He was guilty on one count of, how do you say it?
Defamation?
Defamation
so
on Amber Heard.
Put your hand down or whatever.
She got something from it or whatever, but like,
yeah, I think
people are saying it wasn't him.
I think it was a $17 million settlement, and she getting 2, he getting 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and she's not even getting that 2 because that 2 is going towards the debt she's owing.
Yeah, she ain't got no friends. I seen she had like a GoFundMe or something.
I sent that to you through Instagram. When I saw it, I screenshot it. And I was like, and it's not confirmed. We don't know if Amber Heard or any of Amber Heard's people are the ones who made the GoFundMe page or something. We don't know if this was like a fan thing. Either way, GoFundMe was like, shut that shit down. It's not happening.
For sure.
Stop trying to make GoFundMe happen. It's not going to happen.
And like I said, I feel like justice was served because, again, it's so common for people not me or her, but for people to just jump on the bandwagon and say, listen, the guy did it, he guilty. It's kind of similar to, and not trying to bring this up, but the Tory and Megan situation where you first hear the story, it's like, oh yeah, he did that shit. You know, but then the story start developing a little bit more, you start seeing different sides, and you just like, time out. Maybe it's more to it than we thought. And like I said, I'm not taking no stance on either one. I ain't in it. I ain't get shot. But I'm just saying is that I feel like that same type of energy was being sent Johnny's way to where, like I said, he basically was kicked out of all of his, groups. Like Disney just was like, we'll see you when we see you. And there was really no evidence on his behalf of doing what he was being accused of doing. So it just goes to show you, man, we got to stop doing this whole guilty until proven innocent.
Like witch hunt, basically.
Right.
Which is hard to do in our society because it happens so many times. Many times. Every time something comes up like this, whether it be with the recent, just naming names, just the R. Kelly thing, the Bill Cosby thing, the C.K. Lewis, I think his name is. Like, we're always concerned with whose side is right and whose side is wrong and who should we support, and then we end up making bad decisions in trying to do the right thing and like being like, oh well, we should support the victim. Some things don't always have like just one victim crimes. Like sometimes everyone is the victim here. Like I feel that is very much so in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case. Like they have both been victimized in some way. Like there isn't just a big bad here and like the poor person who's getting beat up on, even though I knew Amber Heard was shit.
Yeah, Shawty was out here. I think they said she shitted on his bed or something.
Once I heard that, I was already gone. Because I was like, you can't fabricate this type of shit. And then how do you have this much money, this much prestige and fame, and the worst thing you could think to do is to shit on someone's bed? Trailer Trash doesn't even do that. Like, poor people don't even do that. We are cleaner than that. We wouldn't even do that. We may make the dog shit on the bed or something. We're not personally taking the shit.
I guess
that's what rich people do when they're mad.
They just like, come here.
Like monkeys. Like,
take it.
Completely reverted back to primitive states.
Yeah, just tragic, just sad. But at the end of the day, like I said, a decision was made. The jury found both of them to be at fault, but her more than him. And I honestly, and I could be wrong, but I felt like they did that just for her to save some type of face. Because I know them jury was like, he ain't do shit.
What face did she ended up saving? Like,
I guess it was like... She ended up losing all face. She got something out of the situation. He ain't completely just walk out. But in my opinion, he did.
If I was Amber Heard, I would not be satisfied. I wouldn't even have done this. I would have left it as it is.
She cost herself a lot because she lost a big part in the Aquaman 2 from what I understood. And I ain't even gonna lie, I didn't even know that was her.
Me neither. I didn't even know Johnny Depp was married. When this happened, I didn't know he was married. I didn't know who she was. I had to look up the movies she was in. Some of them I did know, most of them I didn't. And I was like, you're a non-motherfucking factor right now. And you're only a factor because of Depp. Matter of fact, if I was Amber Heard, I would have been doing my job and sucking the... Can I say that? Anyway,
Well, I will say, for the sponsors that are coming, we're going to try to keep the cussing and profanity and the vulgarity to a minimum.
And that's going to be...
We can't make no promises. I just want to throw that out there like Tom Brady. So, but yes.
Because that's my life right there. Yeah, just vulgarity.
That's what we did. It's coming from that perspective. So,
but I caught myself.
Bear with me. You did good. See, she want the money too. But yes, you're right. She should have definitely been making sure he was pleasured in every way possible.
It's Johnny Depp.
To prevent this, because the dude still looked 25.
Okay? He do look good for his age.
He doing something right. Okay. Even in his position, he looks so at peace. Like, I'm just telling you the truth.
Before this happened though, even on the internet, you could look up pictures of Johnny Depp looking completely out of it. Just hurt. Upset. Like, people knew things were wrong or something was wrong from leading up to these events.
Relationships will do it to you.
Yes, and then meanwhile you look at her and she's drinking mimosas out with her girlfriends, creating lies like Gone Girl. Do you remember Gone Girl?
I'm a liar. But,
Gone Girl was this series, a movie
Gone
came out
Girl.
recently. Yeah, where she basically faked her death or her disappearance and tried to blame it on her husband and everything like
spoiler.
that. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. I'm so sorry. It's been out for years. Actually, no spoiler alert. If you didn't read or watch the movie, this is your fault.
This ain't like Stranger Things. We will not
yeah, exactly.
for the time being.
It's nothing recent. But this is giving me very Gone Girl vibes. Like she had a plan, and for some reason, I don't know, she felt wronged or which really she shouldn't have. Like Johnny Depp made her career, if you ask me. But she just took that whole concept of like white woman. Little petite blonde white woman has a problem, and so I'm going to make everybody feel like I'm the victim, and like make this guy look like an evil person. Did you see that scene where like it was Johnny Depp's turn to get up on the stand? I've been watching so many YouTube videos of like the funniest moments in the court case.
Right.
And he's about to walk up to the stand, and she's walking off of it, and she realizes that, oh, I have to be standing with him again. So she's just like, and Johnny Depp's reaction was gold. He was just like, bitch.
I'm just walking.
I'm
telling you,
what could I have done?
Nonchalant, dog. Like, I love it, dog.
Even if I wanted to do something to you, we are in a court filled with, what could I have done?
Like, seriously, like, in front of all these people, I'm just gonna not give a hell.
Oh my God. So yeah, very Gone Girl-esque feelings from this whole thing.
I can see that. And I say the saddest thing out of all of this, besides her just being a trash individual, in my opinion, is that we may now never get Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Because he pretty much said, to hell with Disney. Like, I think he was like, they could give me $300 million and some llamas, and I still wouldn't
300 alpacas.
Yeah,
I was like, what do alpacas got to do with it? Is that his favorite animal?
Ain't that the Empress New Groove?
Yeah, I think it was an alpaca. And I'm like, what?
Threw up a groove, man.
Was that Johnny Depp's favorite animal? He was like, not even if you give me 5,000 alpacas will I go. What the hell?
I like that impression. That was really good.
It was ridiculous, which makes me mad as a fan because I love him in anything he does. But Pirates of the Caribbean has really taken him to like another sphere inside the public mind's eye. Like if you didn't see Scissorhands, you saw Pirates of the Caribbean.
Saw that.
Like,
they were all good. You know how sometimes it kind of fall off a little bit. All of them was good, and now I think there's a rumor that they're gonna bring it back without him. Come on.
Ain't nobody gonna watch that.
Trash.
Who gonna watch that?
I'm not.
You gonna watch that?
I already have a hard time watching stuff anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's my biggest take from it, is that now because of this situation, we're losing a lot of good things because of it. And I just felt like it was pointless and worthless at this point. But my boy Pocket's about to be fat though, if she can get that GoFundMe back up.
Like they weren't already fat. Like if you looked up how much Amber Heard was worth, she was worth maybe $8 million. She owed Johnny Depp more than that by the end of the case was done. And Johnny Depp has been worth like big bucks.
Shawty gonna be
way before he met her.
For her assistants, because she had assistants, she gonna be working for the assistant to try to get his money back up. But
like if you ask me, he didn't need the money. This case wasn't started because he needed the money. Amber Heard probably needed the money, but he wanted people to know the truth.
Yeah, he wanted to know the truth, and pain and suffering got to be paid in some way. Because like I said earlier, he lost a lot because of this. So
yeah, to pay them lawyers.
He's owed something. But like she said, the main thing, he just wanted the truth to be out there, and it is. So that's that. So,
do you have anything to say about the tweet that she sent after the court?
I mean, I ain't read that. That was one of them.
It was long. I watched somebody else do the gist of it, and I was like,
it was one of them. Is you arguing with somebody on Facebook, and they write this whole 17,000 novel, and you just like, I'm not reading that shit.
Or at the end of like the court shows, like Judge Joe or whatever,
yeah,
and they'd be like, "How'd you feel about the case?" That was her turn to do that. She was like, no, I'm gonna tell them how I feel about this, and I'm like, no. She tried to make it about women and in general, and I'm like,
that was her whole. She probably should have did this a few years ago when that Me Too movement was heavy. And at that point, it was like everybody guilty. She probably should have did it then. because maybe it would have helped her in her defense.
Which is wrong in that respect because the Me Too movement is supposed to help
people,
and it's not supposed to.
Unfortunately, people took advantage of it.
Falsely accuse people for things that they didn't do. Like, and unfortunately, that's what happened in every situation, in every cause, and every like call to whatever. Somebody gotta mess it up. Like, we're not even gonna talk about Jesse Smollett.
Right.
Like, we were doing good with Black Lives Matter, and then you had to come out and do the most outrageous thing. Anyway, we all have the rotten apples in the bunch. We just have to keep in mind that these movements are still inherently good, or the ideals behind them are good. It's just sometimes we as people are shit. We're bad people.
They are, yeah.
And we take things and make them worse.
And just mess it up for everybody. It's almost like when they say the apple spoiled a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. Well, it's probably like 6 of those in the bunch. So, the whole
do multiplication for that.
That is math, science. But yes, I think that does it for us giving her extra 15 minutes, because I feel like she's done at this point. Anything else going on in the world that we can dwell on maybe later, or you want to hop on this topic?
I can't think of anything now. I'm pretty sure there is a whole bunch of things going on in the world right now.
I mean, yeah, it's a plethora. No better way to start our journey of BlackVomit than with this topic. And it specifically reads, is watching porn cheating when you're in a relationship?
And that's a good distinction.
Yes.
You have to be in a committed relationship. Committed relationships. Because that's where I feel like the problem is mostly. It's like when you're in that type of relationship, that's where most people have a problem with their significant other or partner watching porn or things like porn or anything like that.
Right. And when I was looking it up, like to get some type of, statistics or whatever, that was one of the main things they was hitting on, was it kind of depends on the relationship structure. And you guys kind of have to have that conversation going in, because some spouses don't give a damn. Like, go ahead, I don't feel like doing that, no way. Then there's others where it's just like, well, we didn't have that conversation. What you looking at big ass titties for?
And you don't got big ass titties.
And you ain't, and that was the thing too. They was like, a lot of people use porn to fantasize for what they're like compensating for not having, and that can make your spouse feel some type of way, because it's like, so this is what you want, I'm not good enough for you, so.
That's exactly true. I feel that that's where people take it as well, but I feel like as adults, we should be able to reconcile the two. Like, just because it is true that we use it as a fantasy tool in order to compensate for whatever we don't have in our real lives, doesn't mean that what they have in their real lives isn't what they wanted, because obviously they chose you. Like, It's not a shortage on big booty, big breasted chicks out here. It's not a shortage. If he's with you and you have none of these things, maybe just count yourself lucky and let him every once in a while imagine a world where he can have that and not be offended by it. Because I'm definitely one of those. I don't care. Like,
okay, well, you got your stand.
That's what they made it for. Like, and it shouldn't be called cheating, because there's no one else in the like, he doesn't know. I don't know the names of porn stars. I don't keep up that much with it, but like, he doesn't know.
We can put some on
that chick.
AJ Fire.
Oh my God, of course.
How you doing here?
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's a silly thing to be hurt over, but also I can't lessen their feelings or the impacts of their feelings or what they feel like, but I feel like it's a huge insecurity. Like, he's never gonna get that chick, and even if he did, like, do you think she'd want him? Like, I don't know.
And that's the thing too, because it's funny how we're going into the thought of it's just the man. Women be watching porn just as much, and there's a guy that could be like, oh, so that's the big dick you like? I mean,
that is true.
Big Johnson, that's the one you want?
I swear.
It happens. Big muscle bound, and he like, oh, so that's what you like. Or the fact that she only looks at lesbian porn, and he's just like, so that's what you want? You just don't want to be honest about it? So it go both ways. It's just more common, because that was something I looked up, where it was like 70% guys thought, oh, and of course we can, put our research in the little ticker down there, or what is it called, a bio, and put it on the screen.
Description box?
Yeah, description box. See, that's why I need her. She's smart. But it was like 70% of guys was like, man, what? I ain't even know this was wrong. I'm just watching porn. And then they wasn't understanding that their woman was feeling some type of way. But I did look up this one where it kind of was funny. And it was, of course, coming from a religious standpoint. And they was defining a monogamous relationship. And they was like, yes, it's cheating because you're committed to somebody. And you're going outside of that commitment trying to find pleasure elsewhere. And then they started relating it to prostitution. And that's when I was just like,
Oh, my porn is free.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know how they do. They go in depth with it. They was just like, now, we ain't saying, but we saying. And they was like, they came up with these scenarios. Well, what if he didn't know the woman, but he still was somehow getting some type of pleasure from her? Is that still him stepping out or whatever? All the answers are yes.
Is that saying that a person in a monogamous relationship stepping out to find pleasure in any sense of the word that isn't finding pleasure in their partner cheating? Because that's ridiculous if you think that you can find all your pleasure. It's even ridiculous to think that you can find all your sexual pleasure from one person.
Yeah.
Now, I'm coming from a polyamorous perspective.
Right.
Like, I do not believe in marriage or, monogamy or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just blown away by this fact that people think that, of course it is possible, but I just don't think as a massive amount, like as a norm, we should be telling everyone that just this one person is just what you need. And there's only one person for you in your whole entire life out of all these 7 billion gazillion people, and that's it for the rest of your life. It's not realistic. You guys feed yourselves these fantastical notions,
right,
and then choose and pick which things that you want to allow into that or that don't fit into that box, when really you should just be out here enjoying your life and not worrying about finding a one person to make your life better.
7 billion people, choose one.
It's not possible. Now, it does happen, like I said, but it's just not realistic.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, for sure. And I think it all boils down to cultures. Because you go somewhere else, they have multiple wives, multiple husbands.
And religion, like you said.
And there's no issue there. But, in America, it's just common for us to try to seek one person and be satisfied.
And then end up cheating, and then, because you didn't really want that one person, but hey, you're in that now, and your mom likes her, and you can't because your finances are tied in, and now you got children, and then, like...
It's going down a rabbit hole.
A rabbit hole of depression.
Or a glory hole.
And then you're on Snaps because you killed everyone else. Okay, that's dark, but...
Yeah, we going there.
It happens.
But yeah, for sure. I think it boils down to perspective. For me, I wouldn't say it's cheating because, like I said, at the end of the day, to associate porn with prostitution, in my opinion, is inaccurate because prostitution, you're literally going out finding somebody else to pleasure you, where with porn, it's on a screen, and even the porn actresses aren't prostitutes. They're like I said, they're actresses. Like there's a studio, there's a camera equipment,
there's a license,
there's
contracts. They're not going to jail.
They're being paid. There's a lot of different things that go into it to prevent it from being that type of sex work. Not putting it down by any of the sense, but it just seems like people always want to associate porn and prostitution when it's completely two different things. I feel like you said, we find pleasure in many different things, and I feel like it's kind of unrealistic to assume your partner is going to pleasure you in every way possible all the time. Like I said, there's going to be some nights where it just ain't happening, but you need it. So if you got to turn on Pornhub for a couple of seconds, because that's probably how long y'all be lasting sometimes. If you got to turn it on for a couple of seconds just to be able to go to sleep, I just don't see how that could be the same as you pulling up to somebody's house and potentially getting them
soliciting them for sex. And let's go even deeper to the weird people who even go that one step further to insanity and say, oh, well, just touching yourself is cheating. Y'all are crazy. You're crazy. crazy.
This is a really deep topic when you really sit down and think about it.
Because people will go that
so
far.
many perspectives. Yeah.
They'll be like, oh
They
my
will.
God, I found you jacking off. What, do you not find me attractive? Are you not fine? Bitch, I'm touching myself. I've been doing this since I was like 15, 13
I
years old.
just need me time.
You just got here.
What's
like,
the difference
calm down.
between this and you drinking wine, reading a book? It's the same thing.
Or whatever you do to get your, like, it's just so rude. Like, we're
Yeah.
encroaching on people. I think Jada and Will said something about this too. Like, you can't expect your significant other to make you happy. You have to be happy first.
You gotta be happy first.
You gotta be happy first.
You gotta be happy
And
first.
for these people who do this type of stuff, I'm like, you're not happy. You thought this person was gonna make you happy, and then you found this out, and now you're like, oh, well, now you gotta stop it so I can be happy, and that's selfish and rude.
It's going in that realm of, like you said, back to the insecurities, back to the unrealistic thoughts. I think we should definitely bring this subject back later in either this season or next season.
Yeah, because I kind of want to talk about is
We can
prostitution bad?
Definitely get deep into this one, dog. Like,
Because I think prostitution is great. I think sex workers
I just
should
think it
become
should just be safe.
norm. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you just imagine a world where we can actually treat them as if they're not like
Well,
the undesirables, but everybody is obviously they're still in business. They're the oldest occupation. Like,
it is. They was back there trying to get Jesus.
but they do. Some places do still have legal brothels
Yeah,
and stuff where they
Vegas.
keep up with their health
Matter
and
of
stuff
fact,
like that.
Fayetteville.
They still has a
I
brothel.
walked up on it. I tell you the story.
Field trip? Can we field trip?
I mean,
Can we-
if it's still
is that
there,
something?
like literally. So, hey, well, you know, military town. Hey, boys get lonely.
I'm just saying.
Sometimes you lonely. Yeah, but yeah, we definitely gonna bring this topic back into discussion at a later date. But we don't want to hold y'all up for so long, and we appreciate y'all dibbling and dabbling and coming to our, what's the word, humble behold, or
Humble behold.
I don't know. I'm gonna work on my
Okay.
vocabulary, I promise. But yeah, definitely, as you can see, it's lit around here, man. So y'all definitely gotta come back. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Like your life depending on it. Comment, tell us what you think. Tell us your perspective on Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and if porn is cheating to you or not. And just tell us some other things y'all think we should talk about in the future. Follow us at BlackVomit. Is it underscore something or one?
Nope, just BlackVomit. I'm pretty sure all platforms. Go follow us. Like I said, we got more content coming out soon. Other type of medias that excludes podcasting and stuff. So yeah, come check us out. Come, I don't want to be nasty, but come vomit with us.
There it is. See y'all in the future. Love y'all. Peace.
Bye.